Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021. Why in news? Recently, the Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021 has been passed in the Lok Sabha. What is the background? The Biological Diversity Act 2002 was enacted in response to India's commitments under the Convention on Biological Diversity (CBD) of 1992. The CBD recognizes that countries have the right to control their biological resources and sets the stage for regulating access to these resources based on national legislation. To effectively manage biological resources and associated traditional knowledge, the Act establishes a three-tier structure. The National Biodiversity Authority (NBA) at the national level. State Biodiversity Boards (SBBs) at the state level. Biodiversity Management Committees (BMCs) at the local level. In December 2021, the Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021 was introduced in Lok Sabha to amend the 2002 Act. The amendments are designed to align the Act with current needs and developments, while supporting sustainable biodiversity conservation and utilization in India. What are the key provisions of the Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021? What are the concerns related to the Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021? Favoring industry over conservation. Critics argue that the amendments seem to prioritize industry interests rather than focusing on biodiversity conservation, which goes against the spirit of the CBD. The CBD emphasizes sharing benefits from biodiversity use with the communities that have conserved it for generations. The amendments may weaken the framework for benefit sharing and community involvement. Decriminalization of violations. The bill proposes to decriminalize violations, removing the power of the NBA to file FIRs against parties that do not comply with regulations. This may weaken the enforcement of biodiversity protection laws and hinder efforts to deter illegal activities. Exemption for domestic companies. Only foreign-controlled companies would need to seek permission for using biodiversity resources. This could potentially create loopholes for domestic companies with foreign shareholding to bypass the approval process, raising concerns about unchecked exploitation of biodiversity. Limited benefit sharing. The inclusion of codified traditional knowledge exempts certain users, including practitioners of Indian systems of medicine, from the need to share benefits. This may lead to profiteering domestic companies avoiding their responsibility to share profits with the communities holding traditional knowledge. Ignoring conservation issues. Critics argue that the amendments do not adequately address the challenges faced by biodiversity conservation in India. The bill appears to focus more on reducing regulations and facilitating business interests, raising concerns about the potential negative impact on biodiversity and traditional knowledge holders. Way forward. There is a need to strike a balance between promoting economic development and ensuring the sustainable conservation of India's biodiversity. There is a need to engage in transparent and inclusive consultations with various stakeholders, including local communities, indigenous people, conservationists, scientists, and industry representatives. This will help ensure that all perspectives are considered in the decision-making process and that the amendments align with the principles of biodiversity conservation.